Hello and welcome back to Edpuzzle Adventure. This is session number 2. It's April 4th, Monday at 4:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're going to be talking about Edpuzzle today. And for those of you who arrived late or are watching the video, you can go ahead and go to this website, which is bit.ly /Edpuzzle Adventure, and that's going to take you to a website. And so once you get there, you're going to sign in. You're going to want to find these slides and then introduce yourself on the Jamboard. And so I'll give you some time to go ahead and do that. I'm going to be letting people in. And then we'll get started. So take a minute or two to go to edpuzzle.com. And I'm also going to pull that up and drop it in the chat for you as well. Link to website. All right, I've dropped it into the chat just in case you need that. And I will drop it in again as needed. And while you're getting set up there, I'm just gonna really quickly introduce myself. And this meeting is recorded. We do have a website at bit.ly/Edpuzzle Adventure. Let's go ahead and go over there and take a look at it. So here you'll find the registration link in case you wanted to sign up for one of our other 2 classes this week on the 5th or the 7th. And then if you click on the sign in link, this is where you can sign in. And to find these slides, you can go to the slides link and you can pop those out and open them and follow along. And then of course today we're jumping into our Jamboard to introduce ourselves, and you can just click on the Jamboard of your day and introduce yourself there. And then also, if you miss one of our sessions, I'll be posting the videos here under the videos section. And then to improve, you can fill out an evaluation and let me know how we can make this better. So that's kind of what's going on. I'm going to move forward, and I'm also going to turn off the music for now. And my name is Hans Tolman. I'm an educator, trainer, consultant. I've been educating for 17 years. I'm currently in 5th grade, but I've been a tech coach, a STEAM specialist, a distance learning TOSA, and mostly a teacher. I'm Google certified, and I just recently became Edpuzzle certified. I need to add my Edpuzzle coach badge onto this badge-a-thon that I'm going through. And something that we do here is we share what we learn. So if you're on Twitter, you can share what you're learning by tweeting out Edpuzzle at #Edpuzzle and even #EdpuzzleAdventure. And so what we're going to do now is we're just going to take a moment and get a quick group picture. And since it's just the 2 of us, Jillian, this will be super easy. Let me, I'm going to stop sharing really quick. And this will just be, just the 2 of us here. All right, 3, 2, 1, smile. Beautiful, thank you. And typically if we had more people, I would have you take the time to tweet out on Twitter. And if you want, you can follow me at Hans Tolman And we can also tag Edpuzzle and all those hashtags. So if you would like to do that, you may, but I'm going to move forward and go on to where we're going today. And so my question for you is, what is the biggest challenge in education for you in your class or your position? What is that one thing that kind of gets in your way and prevents you from maybe doing your best or doing the things that you want to do? And what you can do is you can share in our Jamboard, and I'm going to drop this link into the chat just so you have access to it, because we'll be adding to it a little later in this session. So you can click on that and open it up, and that will take you to the Jamboard. And if you do go there, I'm going to bring this over to the front of the screen. You'll see on frame 1, this is where you'll introduce yourself. And then if you use this pull down menu, you can see the other frames that we'll be visiting. And the second one is, what is your biggest challenge in education? So, and since Jillian, it's just you and me, if you want to, you can post there, or you can just unmute and share or drop it in the chat. It's up to you, however you'd like to share that. Time.
Yeah, and Hans, I feel really fortunate. I don't feel like I have barriers. I feel like I have so much at my fingertips and my disposal. I have a really supportive team, supportive admin. I just feel like I always want more time. And it's part of the reason why I'm here this evening is someone dropped this and I thought, wow, this looks really great. I tried it out last week in my Spanish 1 elective and it went like, okay. And I was like, I don't even know how to use this. I just like set up a class and sent the link. And I was like, and the kids were like, Miss Raymond, I was like, oh, I'll figure it out later. So I think for me, finding the time when I come along resources that seem really valuable to me to get them to the point where they're efficient for me in my setting.
Okay. And where are you at, Jillian?
So I teach for Lake Tahoe Unified. I'm on the West Shore of Lake Tahoe, where I live, and our district is based in South Lake, and we are a digital academy that was sort of born out of COVID. So most of us, we teach remotely, and we have a site that we use for in-person meetups, but I'm 100% online.
Wow, that's incredible. Man.
Yeah, it's super exciting. It's really fun. It's
and so
weird.
you must know Kelly Martin. Is that
she's my administrator?
I'm such a big fan of Kelly. We
Love
can give
Kelly.
an applause for Kelly. She's amazing.
Yeah.
You let her know that Hans said hi, and she's awesome. Well, that's great. That's a great situation to be in. Even in the best of situations, we still find ourselves like, and that's what I'm finding. My number one issue is time. That's my number one challenge. Because, and I too have a great administrator, so I don't have any of the drama or, huge behavioral issues that a lot of teachers face. But even with just pure teaching, like there's only so much you can do. And the majority, the 30 hours that we're in the classroom is with our students. And the rest of the time is kind of our breaks and lunches and then afterwards, but then there's meetings. And time is that number one factor that is a challenge. And we're definitely going to address that today. For me, I'm back in the classroom after 7 years of being out of the classroom, and I'm getting reacquainted with grading. And wow, that is a really big challenge for me. And then also student engagement. After almost 2 years of distance learning or hybrid learning, the kids, it's difficult to keep them engaged. So we're asking, how can we save time? How might we automate grading in some ways, maybe on those lower DOK levels? And then how do we engage students? And that's where we bring in Edpuzzle. So we're going to make any video into a lesson. And when we talk about what Edpuzzle is, I mean, you've already experienced it a little bit, but you're choosing any video from YouTube. You embed your own assessment questions within the YouTube video, and then you track your students' progress. and it ends up being a really easy tool to use. And it's your best friend because your students can watch the video at their own pace. They can rewind, they can watch it over and over again. You hold every student accountable. You see who's watching, who's answered the question. They can't skip ahead, and you get 100% student participation. So for me, I found this really powerful in class, and you're in a different situation, but whenever it's time for them to do independent work, this is one of their must-dos on their must-do list while I'm pulling back groups and doing guided reading with my 5th graders. But it can be independent work. It can be for listening and comprehension. You can send it home for them to do independently for homework. It can complement the lesson. You can introduce grammar or vocabulary, or some kind of like a prompt video to prepare them for a class discussion, and then also review. Like we're getting ready for the big test coming up, the national SBAC, and we're going to be dropping in a lot of Edpuzzle videos to kind of fill those gaps where we haven't been able to get it. You know, it's all about time. You know, there's no time to go through the whole curriculum. And then the way you can view Edpuzzle is typically you would do the classic mode where the students watch the video individually. They work independently at their own pace. And it's perfect for rotation stations or the flipped classroom, which is where your scenario would come in. However, when you do have, you know, a time where you're with kids synchronously, you could do live mode where you're displaying the video so everyone can see it. They're on their own devices and they're answering they're answering in real time, giving you that feedback to start that discussion. So that's another way you can do it. And then the 2 types of classes are the classic class, where your students need to log in or sign up, and you're tracking their progress across all your videos. It's really great for that data. And it's perfect if you can't live without videos in your lessons. And then for open class, this is where the students don't need an account. It's more for things like on the fly, or if you wanted to show this to, if you were doing like a PD training or things like that. Yeah. So with Edpuzzle, how does this help us save time? Well, the one thing that I think any teacher, no matter what your comfort level is with technology, is you can use a ready-made lesson from another teacher. You can search, you can discover, you can type in keywords like 5th grade grammar or 5th grade text structure or whatever, and find videos that teachers have already made or already remixed from a YouTube video. And you can also search for any YouTube video and copy it to your content. And an easy way to do that on the fly is with the Edpuzzle extension, Chrome extension. And if you have that installed, you'll see a little, right below a YouTube video, there will be a little button that says Edit with Edpuzzle. And if you find a video that you like, you just click on that and it opens right into the editor. You start adding your questions right away. And then for other teachers that are really stepping it up and going to that flipped model that we were talking about, where instead of spending their time with students instructing, they've already recorded their instruction video, let the kids watch it. So now their kid time is working on application or projects or pulling back small groups based on that feedback from the Edpuzzle video. So recording and uploading your own teaching videos. That's kind of the next level. And then for my problem with grading, I found Edpuzzle to be a lifesaver with getting grades for different subject areas. And the way it works is if you have multiple choice, like non-open-ended questions, then those will be automatically graded. So almost like a Google form, except it's interactive and it pauses at certain parts in the video to check for comprehension. And that will go into a spreadsheet that you can download and then upload What is Jillian, what is your LMS that you guys use up there in Tahoe? Are you guys using Canvas or Google Classroom or something else?
Well, I'm a little bit of a rebel, so I use all of them. I'm probably supposed to be, sorry, Kelly, if you're watching this and anyone else that I work for and with, everyone kind of knows. So Canvas is our main learning management system. But say, for example, a colleague and I are doing a shared PBL. So we created a Google Classroom. So right now in this trimester, our kids are there because it like is the best tool for the need. And then like some of the platforms, you know, my kids work strictly really on those platforms. So whether it's Khan Academy or News ALA, I have not yet. I'm sorry, Hans, this is not your problem, but I don't have and that's not what the training's about, but my integration into Canvas has not been super smooth. So that's one area that like I need more helping because I'd love to just use that, but I find myself, it's way easier to just go to other places. If that makes sense.
So I can totally relate with you because last year I was a distance learning TOSA, and my main job was to work with a team of other TOSAs and train teachers on Canvas. So I'm practically, I'm one step away from being like a Canvas certified trainer. And, you know, we encourage our teachers to use that.
Maybe
but we
you
also,
can come and help us.
well,
I'll tell
don't
Kelly to
ask me
hire
so
you.
soon because we also gave our teachers the option to use Google Classroom. So a lot of the teachers went with that because it's just something they were familiar with. It was a little easier. Some of our higher tech teachers, they hit up Canvas and they're really successful at that.
Yeah.
Canvas is definitely the more robust LMS system. However,
100%.
when I left that position and became a fifth grade teacher, I've never taught fifth grade. And I'm looking at this curriculum. I'm working with a partner who also is kind of new to fifth grade. And we're looking at all of this knowledge and all of these structures that we don't have in place. And now I have a choice. Do I take the time to invest into Canvas as my LMS, or do I do Google Classroom? I know from experience with Canvas, it takes a ton of time, and it's almost like you become a website developer to set up that, and it's really powerful, but I'm having to choose, how do I want to spend my time developing a website or spending my time like developing engaging lessons? So we opted for going with Google Classroom. So we'll keep that our mutual secret. I mean, I'm not afraid to tell anyone, but if a teacher's choosing between the two and they don't have a lot of time, Google Classroom is the simpler tool. It's less powerful, but.
When I think you're at fifth grade, you know, I have seventh, eighth, and ninth. And based on, you know, I think there was, based on what they were like kind of thrown into with the shelter in place, for some of them, it's just enough that they are as savvy as they are. Like my husband is a professor, and his college students with Canvas, he will be blown away that they're like, they couldn't upload this file. They couldn't do this. They're not navigating the modules. This is locked. It's like, yeah, you have to go do the work. And so I also think for me, in some instances, it's gotten in the way of the actual like access to the content. Well, if I can give them a slide to like a Padlet to a platform where like, which is why actually, so my colleague was down at Q with Kelly, another friend, they brought Edpuzzle. And I like to use Khan Academy for that early, as you spoke to, kind of the DOK, right? We're like moving towards an experiential learning school, but there's still that content and really the foundation that the kids need. And for me, one of my goals this year was looking at really easy formal assessment that's lower level. So do they know who was it, for example, French and Indian War? Do they understand, you know, the significance of why it was fought, how it relates to motivations of colonization, like all the things we've been building on, so we can then go into our higher level piece. So for me, what I'm finding with Khan Academy is I need to be able to do exactly what you spoke to, in terms of, or what I need to learn how to do is, how do I pause and write in my own question and then save it and go forward. Like I have one up. I'd like to actually figure out how to do that, because I think the kids just turn on the video and then they like go on TikTok and then they like are all cheating on the quizzes.
Right.
So I want to embed the questions within that, just like you spoke to hold them accountable. And some of the Khan videos, I haven't done a ton of searching. I don't know that there's a teacher on Edpuzzle that's made a lot. Like I said, I found some great Spanish ones, and those are really good going to your live mode, it's like a great way to open class. I'm like, all right, I want for the first 3 or 5
Right.
minutes, I want an Edpuzzle to review what we did last class.
Yes.
But when I did it, they were like, Miss Raymond, we can't, like, there's nowhere else, you have to put the answers in. So there's something I was doing wrong in executing it. So those are, I
Okay.
think, my 2 big questions for you that I hope to get out of our time together.
Sure. And we're definitely going to have playtime, and we can use that to jump over into Edpuzzle, and I can show you kind of what that looks like. And so you've already started Edpuzzle, and a beginner teacher, would go to edpuzzle.com, sign up as a teacher, connect with their school or department, and then they'd follow a tutorial to create their first video lesson. So, but you're kind of ahead of the game. And so depending on what LMS you're using, this can help you integrate and connect your classes. Like if you're on Canvas and you need to connect those classes, you can do that, or Classroom or Schoology or whatever. So all of these connect, and the cool thing is it connects to the grades of that LMS. So if I post an assignment in Google Classroom that's an Edpuzzle assignment and the kids take it, those grades are entered. I don't have to enter those grades into Google Classroom. So that's really helpful. So that saves time. So typically I would give our beginners time to get set up into Edpuzzle, but let's explore Edpuzzle for ourselves and see what we can find. So I'm going to jump over to Edpuzzle. And I'm going to log in as a teacher. And the beginner teacher, you would, I guess, if you were going to assign this to your kids, you'd want to click Add Classes and click that plus sign. And that's where you would connect the roster of whatever LMS you have to Canvas. So like if you have all your kids in Google Classroom and that's the main way that you want to push out Edpuzzle assignments, then you would connect it with Google Classroom. So do you think that's where you would head to connect your classroom?
So Hans, I think I'd like to, because I think this is going to be very good for my 7th grade history, and that we primarily use Canvas. And for my Spanish 1 kids, we actually use UC Scout. So it's a Canvas dashboard, but it's not integrated in the same way that like our LTSD one is. So that's kind of its standalone. But I would like to know how to do that for Spanish 1 related to sort of the live mode, and not so much on the fly, but less about grade and more about kind of just engagement in teaching.
Right.
Like I still want to be able to see, I only have 7 kids, so I'd want to be able to log on in some way and see a report afterwards, like, awesome, they all nailed it. But the integration in 7th grade social studies with 28 kids is like very helpful. So I'm going to focus, I'm going to go Canvas.
Okay. So then you would just click on Canvas and follow those prompts to connect it. You would select your class. And then once they were in there, your roster would be showing in Edpuzzle under that class. So if you want to take some time to set that up, you can, and I can just be here, your guide on the side, ready to answer questions when you're ready.
That'd be amazing. So I'm in it right now. I have the connector LMS. So then I keep this up. I have to open Canvas. I can mute myself. Sorry, I kind of am like a talk louder.
No, it's fine.
I just anticipate maybe it'll help someone else.
Yeah, and you know what? If you want, you can, if you feel comfortable, you can share your screen so we can see what you're looking at.
100%.
I'm going to stop sharing.
Okay.
And then I'm going to change it for all participants. So now in Zoom, you should be able to click that green screen, share screen button. And then that way we'll be able to see your screen. Okay.
Can you see my screen?
I can, yeah.
Awesome. So from here, when I was in Edpuzzle, so here's where I was at. I think I'm already logged in. So I did this. So if I click on, I do this now, right? Click on Canvas. And then when I'm in my Canvas dashboard, I want it to be these fabulous humans here.
Okay. So go back to those directions in Edpuzzle, and that's going to be how we, and I was working with someone who was connecting their Schoology, and these were kind of the instructions. So it says, create a new assignment and choose external tool as the submission type. So let's go back into that 7th grade Canvas course. Let's create an assignment. This can just be a test that we don't have to show the kids unless we're ready. So you create
No,
that
everything
assignment.
has to matter. This is going to be what's due on Wednesday.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's make it.
Yeah. Is that fair?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to put, is that how you all put it? I feel like it probably has its own. It's probably more like that.
There we go. Okay.
All right. And so
nice. And so we're going to open up that assignment. We're going to edit it. We're going to go down to assignment type or submission type, and we're going to do external tool, and we're going to type in Edpuzzle and then find. So
I don't seem to have it.
No, and that can be expected. So we're going to go with plan B, and I've spoken to Edpuzzle about this because I was curious how they did that. But let me go just really quickly to make sure we're not missing anything. Click on that Edpuzzle tab to see those directions again. So new assignment, external tool, find and select Edpuzzle. And then can't find Edpuzzle on Canvas, set up Edpuzzle. Oh, let's click on that blue button there.
That's my school.
So that's your school. Follow these steps. And I'm wondering if, yeah, let's try this. I think this is worthwhile because I was going through this with Schoology yesterday with someone.
I know how to, okay.
Courses, settings, apps. Okay.
Here we go.
So
you're welcome, everybody. You're welcome, everyone. Go down to settings. We've done this before, and then let's see.
And then
what's
apps,
under
apps up there
awesome.
on the
and then hopefully she'll be here.
You can actually type it in the search up top. It may be a little easier. Oh, there we go.
I gotta spell it right.
There you go.
Yay.
And then you click on that.
I wonder if this is how I have to add News Ella too.
Because
doing it with just the adding assignment external tool did not work. The kids would go in. And I don't know about you, but if I start something with the students and I'm wasting their time, I'm like,
horrible.
No, the poor things, they don't need to hear me do what you're paid to listen to me right now. Be like, okay, let's find this app. Let's look at their directions. They're not doing that. I'm like, that's the stuff I need to do ahead of time. So when they get in, it's like, it's very clean and there's no hiccups. Cause that's when, to me, that's where I lose them. I don't lose them in the engagement, you know?
No, that
I'll geek out with middle schoolers all day long.
No, that time is so precious. Yeah.
Okay.
So now we're going to grab that consumer key.
So VIP. Okay. Shared secret.
And then we'll grab the other one.
Copy. Then add app.
So once you add the app, I'm going to assume that it's going to be listed amongst your, you can, and so you would probably have to do the same for Newsy LA. So you just want to Google like Newsy LA app on Canvas. And Newsy LA should have the same type of information that we just saw on the Edpuzzle.
Well, and Kelly even might be able, because the consumer key, if anyone else has done it, that's the information you need, right? That's all I need.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, that's the one I want to do. Thank you, Hans. Okay, so now I think I can go back to my assignment.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
let's
then I should
try
be
it.
able to do online submission, external tool, and it will come up.
Uh-huh.
See my messy Canvas modules, though this is kind of embarrassing.
Don't be embarrassed. We all have to make decisions
They
about
make
how to
sense
best.
to me.
No, it's
They
fine.
totally make sense to me, and I try to translate that to the kids, and it seems to work. Once they get used to me, we're usually moving and shaking. It's my new, yeah, it takes a little bit. I take a little bit of getting used to.
Change it
That's not what I
to
want.
external tools.
Thank you.
That submission type. There you
Sorry,
go.
I'm on autopilot.
No, it's fine. So now, hopefully, we'll be able to find our Edpuzzle LTI here. And it should be in ABC order, but we're not seeing it.
Oh shoot, did I not like hit save? I feel like that's a Canvas setting.
No, I
added the app.
I wonder if there's another step. This is always so tricky.
Okay. Add the app button.
Yeah.
I've already logged into the circular profile.
Mm-hmm.
So now I probably have to go back to Edpuzzle and do the things we did.
Right.
I think.
Yes. So now.
No, that's not what I want.
No, it's not going to be that. We're actually going to use Canvas to bring over that roster. But go to those other steps on that Edpuzzle how-to, that other tab right next door. And I'm looking at step 7 because we already did the two pieces of information. Click on your circular profile icon in the top right corner. I wonder if that's in Canvas or if that's
because we're
maybe
top
it's
left. So there's Edpuzzle.
There we go. And then we're gonna go to, what did it say?
School tab.
Yeah, I wasn't seeing a school tab.
LMS integration.
Do me a favor, and on the left side where it says My Network, can you click on My Network kind of towards the middle there? Oh, maybe click on the 3 pancakes in the top left next to the Edpuzzle logo, and then go down to My Network. I'm just curious to see. Okay.
That's my network.
So these people have connected to Edpuzzle, so that's a good sign. But yeah, I'm not seeing the school tab under your name like they were saying. Okay, let's go back to those instructions and see if there's something else that we can do. School tab and the LMS drop down menu. Copy. Oh, we did that. I feel like we did 9. Now go back to Canvas. Oh, scroll to the top and make sure and click on installed. And let's, okay, so it's installed. That's good.
Okay.
And there may be.
See, and I show that that's installed too, which is annoying. Okay, I'm gonna go to dashboard. It wasn't this one that wants me to look at school because it said upper. No, that's not a thing.
Try going back to settings in that course on Canvas. And I want to check one more thing I just saw. Oh, look at, there's Edpuzzle right above settings now.
Interesting.
So that can be, you can make that visible to your students, but it's not really, no, go to settings instead.
I was gonna say, that looks like a scary message. Okay.
And then click on integrations, yeah. No integrations, okay. I feel like we're doing everything that we need to do. And there's the app, it's installed. click on those Edpuzzle instructions again. And go back to Canvas, enter the fields, add the app, refresh the page, and now Canvas will, I don't know. If this doesn't work, ask your IT. So it could be to follow the same steps in their admin panel on Canvas. You may not have permission as a teacher to add external apps, but I feel like you do. I feel like you're able to use that. Once Edpuzzle has been added to Canvas, all you need to do is select the course of your choice and then click Edpuzzle on the side menu. You'd be prompted to sign in and create a new class. So that's where we're not getting it right. And if you scroll down a little further on this page, there's a video. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just realized something. Like so I have Brainpop in there. When the kids click on that, it opens up right into the Brainpop dashboard. And then they have their class code. And so they just link it from that side menu.
Right. Try scrolling down this page because there may be a tutorial video. So we might be able to, how to assign,
all right,
how to
Hans,
integrate.
Can I ask you a question? Yeah. Do you want to use this video right now to help show me how to insert, like, I don't know, 2 questions and save it on your Edpuzzle? And then maybe you could use this video, because I know I want to be mindful of your time. We have like 7 minutes left, and what you've done is super helpful. But that would be another piece. And then maybe you could it would help someone else too, because hopefully other people, if they see this, they could get those steps. I think I need to reach out to IT. I think I need to check with Allison and Amy and see how their integration went, because they're obviously using Edpuzzle.
Right.
Because I think we did everything that was there. So I'd love to see how to put in some questions and save them in my account. Maybe we could pull that off.
Sure, let's do it.
Okay, thank you. I'll stop sharing.
Yeah, you betcha. Okay. And then I'll share my screen.
Thanks.
Cool. All right. So, so you said that you were looking for something about history or maybe Khan Academy. What should we search for?
Well, I have the URL for you. Can I put it in the chat?
Sure, absolutely.
This is a video that I want to do with them when we get back from spring break.
So I'm going to show you 2 ways you can do this. So I'm opening the video in a new tab, and I have the Edpuzzle Chrome extension
when we're talking
installed.
About...
And
I did install that when you talked about that. I put that in.
So now what you're going to see on YouTube, right below the video in this kind of bottom right-hand corner, you're going to see Edit with Edpuzzle. So I could click on that. It's going to open a new tab in Edpuzzle, and it's going to go straight to the editor. So we can play it.
When we're talking about major wars and
then when you're ready, you can cut so there's 3 steps. You can cut a video, you can do a voiceover, add your own voice, and then you would go to the questions. So like
it has a whole number of names.
Is this you talking?
No, you could go to questions though if you want to. I'm not going to do my voiceover. Okay. They listen to enough of my voice.
So after a certain point, let's see what she's talking about.
And that this war seems to have 2 names, both the 7 Years' War and the French and Indian War, which is a name you perhaps have heard before.
So I might pause it here, and I might insert a multiple choice question. And my question would be, what were the 2 names of this war? And then this would be French and Indian War. And then the 7-Year War. And then you can add another one, and this would be both. And I'm going to give a green check mark to this one, because that's what I want them to choose.
Totally.
And then I'd click save.
And I would add what war?
Right, which war? So you make a mistake, you click the edit button. So which were the 2 names? Maybe, I don't know. So yeah, So you can go back, edit on the fly, and then save it.
Well, let me.
So it's going to pause the video at that point, and they're going to make their selection.
Now,
Well,
let me ask you this. What you just did, thank you. When they pause there, when I'm showing a video, what I ran into was I was showing it. When I paused, they didn't have a spot to answer. So what's that? You want to show me what that mode looks like? Because the questions, that's pretty straightforward. That seems like really user friendly, and obviously continue. It says it saves automatically. I would finish it, probably have me save it.
Right.
And they'd be under my content. Is that where they end up getting saved?
Right. So that would be saved here. So when you were ready to assign this content, let's say you were done creating this, you would go to assign, and you would have your classes listed once you have them connected with Canvas. But then I feel like when you're making the assignment, there's a decision whether to make this classic or live mode. And I feel like I would need to have my my other class up to show that.
That's okay. I'm going to try it right now.
Okay.
Just with the sample one I have in my content. So if I go up to assign, it says no classes yet. I'm going to add a new class. I wonder if it'll connect your LMS. All right, I'm going to have to play it. So it's still not connecting. Add a new class. And so this is where, again, if I wanted to create my class, I did this last week. I was like, all right, Spanish 1, here's the link. So class type, class open. So maybe when you get further on in the assignment, it sounds like you have to select either live mode or classic, right?
Right.
Okay, so I have work to do. Thank you. I can do that.
Yeah.
That's the difference between, and I must have just done classic. And I'm definitely open to integrating all these things, but I might just work through the Edpuzzle platform too. Quick question for you. I downloaded the Chrome extension, and when I put that video up, it does not give me that same edit with Edpuzzle like yellow button.
So you would just have to click on this extension icon and make sure that you're signed into your Edpuzzle account. And I think that will lay over that integration in YouTube.
I might have to like it could, yeah, it does. So I'm logged into Edpuzzle. I have the video in there, and then when I put the link in, I'm going to try it again and just refresh it maybe because I have the extension.
And it's not showing that little button below the YouTube video.
No.
Okay.
I'm just going to show you really quick if I may, and then I'll let you go. I'm so sorry. So if I'm here, and maybe again, I don't know, maybe I do these things wrong. Here's where I see the extension. Like I downloaded it, it's there.
Oh, and then you can also pin it so you can see it up top. There we go.
Awesome. Do I need to? Oh, that would be helpful. I use this one a lot.
There we go.
All right. Let me get back to work here. All right. So
try clicking on that Edpuzzle extension just to see if
So this little buddy right there.
I'm wondering.
Oh, this is going to record me though. I was like, hey everyone, here's your Edpuzzle.
Right.
Okay, that's not what
that's weird. And you've already refreshed the try scrolling down a little bit below the video. I wonder. I see that you have that that remove button that you could use to remove a channel or whatever. Don't click on that one. But
yeah, because this is approved for LTSD and not everything is.
Right.
Man.
Yeah, it's not down there. That's very strange. Yeah, I don't know why that is the case.
Isn't this annoying? This stuff I run into stuff like this all the time, and then I'm like, okay, now I'm not going to use it. I'm like, maybe I'll sit down with IT on Wednesday.
Would just be to grab the YouTube link and paste it into Edpuzzle.
Well, that's reasonable.
Yeah, cool.
I can do that.
All right. Well, I think we're gonna land this plane, and let me just make sure I've hit everything I wanted to hit. So for you, you're trying to decide how spicy do you want your Edpuzzle experience to be, and as a beginner, you're just saving time and using other people's Edpuzzle videos. But it sounds like you're heading towards intermediate, where you're wanting to upload video lessons and automate grading. But if you want to learn more, you can also take 40 minutes and become an Edpuzzle certified educator. So that's how long it took me, 40 minutes to go through their program. And if you're wanting to learn more about that, you'd go to this address, and they have certificated topics like Edpuzzle Coach, flipped learning, things like that are more directly applicable to what you're doing, even project-based learning, which I heard you mention. And if you have any ideas, you can feel free to leave feedback, and that is it. That's the end of our time. Do you have any last questions, Jillian? We covered a lot.
I have a lot of questions, but I will figure them out because I know where to find the things that I need to find. So thank you, Hans. This has actually been super helpful, and that was a nice treat to have you all to myself.
Yeah, I'm so glad it worked out that way.
Yeah, because off the record, I'm really cranky when people are like, I need to log in. And I'm like, no.
You don't
already logged in. We did that.
Oh no, I hear you.
Well, I'm sure.
But yeah, if you're figuring stuff out, or if other questions pop up, feel free to drop in, in tomorrow's session, or even on Thursday's session. You have the Zoom link. It's the same thing. So around the same time, you could drop in, or even on the tail end when I'm leaving it open for questions, and say, oh, by the way, just dropping in. I tried this and I have this question. So feel free to do that. You can also reach out to me on Twitter if you'd like. But yeah, thanks for coming, Jillian. I appreciate your time.
Thanks, Hans. I appreciate you. I learned a lot. I will be in touch, though, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And make sure you tell Kelly I said hi.
I absolutely will.